part, but how you doing?
You ready, Rox? What are your? I mean, they all seem like they're playing at a fairly high level. But in addition to that, what are you getting from J-Ron and DeMonte in terms of intangibles, leaderships, that type of stuff?
You start off with Jay Ron. I think he's come in here and his role wasn't to necessarily be a leader, but his play, his demeanor, his intelligence have put him in that role of a leader. And he's done a very nice job of it, especially on the field. He's a very smart man that plays with a level of aggression that makes other players want to follow him. And so I've been very pleased with him. KZ, a lot in the same. He has a history of making plays. When you lead the league in interceptions in your past, that comes with a level of respect. And I just think the whole room, they do a good job of following each other and leading each other. So, but I've been really impressed with the way JK has come in and taken over that leadership role for the defense.
Which J-Ron specifically, obviously, we see it a little bit at training camp, but it shows up in a big way when you get to start watching games. But from the inside, how did you kind of see that manifest over, whether it started in the spring or more so when you put the pads on, just over the course of the time?
It really started off in Oxnard. We had a situation that came up, and the confidence that he had dealing with that situation, and my ability to. I'm not always the easiest person to deal with, and for him to be able to talk straight with me and to come at me in a very direct manner, I really respected that. And then moving forward from when we had that situation, and it really wasn't about him, it was about another player, but the way that he handled it and moved forward, I said, okay, this is a guy that is a man, and when you have a man, you can deal with him in a certain way. And then once you get to the play style of it, we use him in a way that very few players are used. I mean, he goes in there as a linebacker. He erases tight ends. He plays in the middle of the field. He blitzes. I mean, they turn the protection to him and not to the linebackers. So he just gives us such versatility. His play these first 6 games has been really, really good.
When you say you're not the easiest to deal with in what you demand, how you communicate, interact, just the edge you want from them, so you use an edge or what?
There's not much gray with me. Okay, either we do it the right way or we don't. I try not to live in a world of gray, because I believe if I take doubt out of the equation, these men will go play fast. And so in the meeting room, we have a lot of conversation. We have fun in there, but either we do it right or we do it wrong. And I know I'm not, and I've been told I'm not the easiest person to be around. I really don't care about that. I care about winning, and that's the only thing that matters is winning. And these guys have accepted that. And so young players have a tendency of having a hard time with that, but we have enough veteran leadership that they can deal with it. And then we have a good mix of coaches. Al and Cannon, they balance me in the fact of, like, we talked about me being on the field. They were like, hey, no, you stay in the box, all right? So I can communicate down with Al and Cannon, who do a great job of taking what I say and relaying it to the players, and the players receiving it.
Have you had any head coaching interviews or preliminary discussions?
Not head coaching interviews, no.
Is that something you would like to do down the line?
Yes,
Or,
yes, no question.
when you see that path, there may be a coordinator. That's what they say. Is that another goal for you? To get the
I've had coordinator interviews, interview here, but I'm ready to call the plays, and I think a lot of people know that. But my dad always told me this: you do the best job with the job that you have, and your next opportunity will come. And so I'm not worried about it. When that time comes, I'm ready. When the time for me to be a head coach comes, I'll be ready. I'm just trying to do the best job as secondary coach here at Dallas Cowboys, and let us win games and cut some of these explosive passes down. That's where my focus is right now.
You talk about Diggs' start to the season. Diggs, what he's done, and you've coached some really good. You've coached some guys who are up on the list for all-time interceptions. Just any traits he shares with them, how he stacks up with some of them, realizing he's still early in his career?
Yeah, it's early, but 7 interceptions in 6 games is rare. He has the ability to see and catch the flash of the ball. He has contact balance and able to catch. You talk about contact balance usually with a running back, but he can have contact with the receiver and still get the ball, and that is somewhat rare. And then he has the ability, when we show formations and talk about it, and when he sees it, he sees the split. I think Al does a great job of teaching 3-step drops and reads of the quarterback. A lot of people see it. He goes and gets it. And that's what the great ones do. I know there was a round table with, I think it was Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Revis, Dale Green, and they talked about that in particular, how some players talk about, all right, I'm going to make the tackle to the breakup to the interception, where they think, all right, this interception, ball's up, it's my ball. Okay, I can't get the ball, I'm going to break it up. All right, I can't break it up, I'm going to make the tackle. That's the mindset he has.
How hard is it to do that?
I think it's rare. Because the first thing that you want to do is, all right, I don't want to get beat. I don't want to get beat. So for you to have that mindset that I'm going to go make that play, I don't think a lot of guys have the confidence to go do it. And then the ball skills that goes along with the confidence. So that gives him the opportunity to make some of the plays that he's made.
Do you think he understands how rare his performance has been so far?
I think, to be honest with you, the type of kid that he is, I think he expects it from himself. I mean, we had a 2-day span in training camp where we had 12 picks in 2 days. And he had a bunch of them. I think he had made 4 of them. And he expects it. And he's not cocky about it. He's not arrogant about it. He's very confident. And then I know arrogance and confidence can be confused because they look very similar. But he's a very confident player. And he's a young player. There's a lot about his game that we have to get better as well. And so, but the ability to get the ball, he's there.
Have you ever witnessed a strategy?
You talked about cutting down the big plays that you've allowed. Have they been trade between them, communication issues that led to them, or physical?
Are you talking about defensively or for Trey in particular?
Defensively.
Defensively? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we've given up way too many big plays, all right? They really haven't been communication errors. The two of them from the Tampa game were, and 3 of them from the Tampa game were, okay? And we came in as a staff and adjusted and got from there. If you look at the film, a lot of them have been catch-run elements where they've caught the ball under 20 yards and they've gone, and which is, sort of confusing to me because we're playing so fast on defense. If you look at the next-gen stats, our defense is playing at a high speed. And so for them to have the ability to have catch-run elements, that's something that we have to do a better job of. But it hasn't been communication. The mental errors and the missed assignments have been very, very low. We just have to do a better job of making sure when the ball is caught in front of us, we tackle it and we get it down. If we can take those explosives out of our game, all right, we go from being a secondary right now, in my opinion, that's average to good to the next level, because you can't be considered a great, I don't care how many interceptions you have, if you're allowing that many yards, you can't put yourself in the range of talking about being one of the top secondaries until you get those numbers down and you get the passing touchdowns numbers down as well.
Did you know you were always going to be a coach?
Did I know I was always going to be a coach? My dad coached,
Right.
and I really didn't think I was going to be a coach until I got hurt. I had a number of surgeries in college, and when I medicaled out, they asked me if I wanted to be a student assistant, and I really didn't. I really wanted to go back and play, and that's when I realized, when I got on the field and guys that I played with were calling me coach, and I could affect, those guys. I was like, oh yes, I can do this. And so that's when I realized that I wanted to do it.
How crazy is it that your dad turned down an opportunity to get Cowboys?
How'd you know that? That is something that is not really known. Wow.
And he did it for the family.
He did, yes. How did you know that? Wow. It was important for my dad, and I sort of want to do it with my kids. I was in Green Bay for 11 years, and I did not want to move. I had plenty of opportunities to leave Green Bay, I didn't want to move my kids, you know, and I didn't think I would make a 25-year run there like he made at Auburn, but it was important for him, for my sister and I to graduate and go through Auburn City Schools and not have to meet new friends. It hurts me personally to have moved my kids 3 times like I have. So I have a different, you know, we talk about your why. My why this year is so much different than it's been before. My why is to make sure my son graduates from here. My why is just different because I want my kids to be here in Dallas for the next couple of years. And so, you know, but I'm amazed that you knew that, you know.
Right. But I'm just saying, but just being able to come, you know, here, then this is where your father could have been, and,
Yeah.
and I know you want to be an Auburn head coach, right?
No, that is not. You know, my 2 dream jobs when I started off was, and they stay the same. I want to be the head coach of South Florida or the defense coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. That was back when I was at University of Louisville. I wrote those down, and I'm close, you know, to one of them. And the South Florida opportunity, if it comes, it comes. But I don't want to be I want to always love Auburn. I was raised on Auburn, so I always want to be able to go back to Auburn and love it. I know if I go there as the head coach and things don't work right, you know, the love can fade away. But I can always go back to Auburn right now, and I love that situation. I love being Auburn Tiger and War Eagle all the time.
Why the Cowboys defensive coordinator? Why the Cowboys defensive coordinator? Why was that always one?
You know, growing up in Alabama, there were no pro teams, okay? And my dad was really close with Emmett. Tommy Agee came and played here. There's no one guy. So I had an affinity for Dallas, I'm a big SEC guy. I'm all Auburn, all right? But when it looked to the NFL teams and you see that star, it was just something that I wanted to do. And even when I talked to my wife about it, I was like, you know, if I ever become the coordinator of the Cowboys, you know, I could see doing that for a very long time. This is back when we were at Louisville. And so, and then South Florida, I think I could take that job, and the way I recruit, I could be there forever. We could do things there that's never been done before.
So now that you're here, how does the reality match what you thought it would be?
It really is what I thought it was. I mean, working for the Joneses, they give you every opportunity to be successful. We don't have a reason not to win, and that's all you ask for, is the opportunity to go out there and win, and that's what we have from a roster, facility, just anything that we really need, we have it. And so now it's our job to go win, and that's what I thought it would be here. Back then, with me not even having NFL experience, I looked at the Dallas Cowboys as a place that, hey, you're going to have a chance to win. Now, if you use your ability, you can go get that done.
How supportive or how grateful are you for the support of Mike and Dan as far as empowering you to eventually reach your goal of being a defensive coordinator? Do you feel that they really are giving you opportunities and things to do to get there?
Of course, you know, I've worked for Mike. This is my 12th year working for Mike, and so I can't, you know, say enough what he has done for my career and given me the opportunity to grow within the profession. But Dan has empowered me in a role this year of not only being the secondary coach, but he's given me roles that have definitely put me in a position where saying, not I can do being a defense, I can do that. I'm ready for it, you know. He's given me those roles. He's given me those responsibilities, and I just take my hat off to him because it takes such confidence in a guy that, you know, he could come in here easily and say, hey, we're going to do this way, and he doesn't do it. Hey, Joe, how do you want to do this? AD, how do you want to do this? George, how do you want to do it? He listens, and then he goes and we come together as a staff and we make decisions, we move forward. And he's growing all of us to make sure that we're in position to one day run the defense.
One last one of your guys' experiences, just from watching it back, thinking about the LA game and maybe even the Giants game.
Okay, all right.
How many of those were over that like 2.5 second threshold? Like it's hard to say.
You know, I really don't get into the extended play and the rush element of it, because if the play is extended, it's our job to plaster. You know, and pass defense is a marriage of rush and coverage, and once we do a great job of both elements, the rush will come alive and the coverage will come alive. You know, there's times that, you know, they've had a great rush up there and we didn't cover and the ball got out too fast. Or it's just times that, you know, we might have covered and had to cover alone. And so we have to come together and make sure we're on the same page with it. So I'm not looking at the 2.3, threshold. I understand that we need to do a better job of controlling explosives and keep doing the job that we're doing and taking the ball over.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.